Unit 3, Problem-Based Learning Rules. Lesson 1, Discussion Leader. What this lesson looks at. Firstly, we'll give you an overview of the problem-based learning process and the roles involved. We will discuss the discussion leader role. We will then identify the tasks of the discussion leader. As mentioned previously, problem-based learning is a collaborative process involving a group of learners working together. In problem-based learning, each person has a role which develops a different set of skills. As a result, each person should undertake a different role each time they engage in a new problem-based learning problem. You, as a learner, will either be delegated a role by the facilitator or you will choose a role. This lesson explains the role of the discussion leader. The discussion leader is also known as the chair. They are effectively responsible for driving the problem-based learning process from a student perspective. By taking the responsibility of the discussion leader, the learner builds management and leadership skills. In the opening and closing stages, which we will see about later, the discussion leader is mainly responsible for running problem-based learning meetings. The tasks of the discussion leader. The discussion leader must prepare an agenda for the interim and final meetings. The agenda must have a structure for the discussion. The team should be consulted at the start of the meeting if they accept the agenda or if they have changes. A table of contents is the analogy used to describe the nature of the agenda. Healy and Fagerholm also suggest questioning as an alternative to the agenda to simulate discussion and the use of concept maps if required. The objective of the agenda is to encourage exploration and creativity, and so should be in a structured manner to enable this. The agenda may be circulated prior to the meeting. In the text version of the learning material, in Appendix 1, there is a sample agenda for a problem-based learning tutorial. Discuss the tutorial memo. The tutorial memo is outlined in the next lesson, and in the text version of the material, it's available in Appendix 2. At the start of a meeting for the interim and closing meetings, the tutorial memo should be discussed. The tutorial memo is like the minutes of the previous meetings that took place. The discussion leader should ensure meetings run in a positive manner. This is in line with the Unit 2, in which we discuss the importance of trust and respect. It's important that meetings minimise conflict and there's a can-do attitude where everyone feels confident about themselves and what they are doing. It's important that the discussion leader ensures people respect each other and listen to each other's opinions. In addition, it's important that the discussion leader ensures that all problem-based learning steps are completed adequately, enough to address the problem, and the discussion does not deviate from the task at hand. It's important that the team members and the discussion leader enforces the rules of active listening and accountable conversations as discussed in Unit 2. The discussion leader should also encourage mutual support and team members to be respectful of each other. They should curb impolite behaviour and ensure that there is equal sharing of the tasks as outlined in Unit 2. The discussion leader should also ensure that low priority tasks do not dominate the conversation. After each item on the agenda has been fully discussed, the discussion leader should summarise the discussion before moving on. The The discussion leader should ensure clear objectives are delegated to each team member so they are clear of what they have to conduct in this self-study stage of the problem-based learning process. Together with their team members, the discussion leader is responsible for questioning and probing team members. This is to encourage mental models. For example, if a team member mentions that the problem might be the result of a particular element, ask them, how or why do you think this element impacts on the problem? And encouraging them to provide the evidence to support their argument. The discussion leader should be responsible for bridging concepts that might be related. For example, I think John said something similar earlier, and the issue you may outline might be as a result of the issue John discussed. In addition, the discussion leader should ensure all participants participate equally. They should entice shy participants and curb those who dominate in a polite manner. Ensure that those speaking are not interrupted, but if a person is speaking for too long, politely ask them to say it briefly. A round robin technique where each person takes a turn to speak may be good for encouraging shy participants, where each person is required to give their input into the discussion. This will be discussed further in Unit 8.